Okay, I had to reset the copier, so sorry. Okay, so this is for 3 through 5. Determine which similarity statement, angle, side, or side proves the two triangles are similar. So if I say JKN, J to K to N is similar, I'm using the big triangle, R, V to N. And then I need to determine, is this by angles only, sides only, or a combination? Because I have a side here, this represents sides because the numbers are on the outside. This represents sides because the numbers are on the outside. I do not have a side here. I cannot use side. The angles, I don't know all of these angles are technically corresponding. The only one I do know is the same is the one that's last in the similarity statement. Because they both share this corner, this angle is congruent. So I have side, angle, side. Now, for the next one, it tells me A, B, C. So if I start at A and I go to B and then I end at C, a lot of people can notice that A is gonna match with T. It just like flipped itself. So I'm starting at T. And then people are like, do I go this way or this way? If I look at the numbers, this is 10 and 8, so it's going along the smaller side. So 16 and 12, this is along the smaller side. So I'd have to go T, S, and then R. This is by, I only have sides, and sides. There are no congruent angles. None of the letters match each other. So this is by side similarity. The next one, I have LMN. So I'm starting at L, going to M, and then I'm ending at N. If I notice 20 and 24, this is the largest side. So I have to figure out which one matches. K matches because this distance is shorter. This is the shorter side. I'm starting at K. I'm gonna go across, and then I'm gonna end up going down the longer side. 42 is bigger, 24 is bigger. So it should be K, J, N. I have sides on the outside. I do not have the third side. I can't use that. But they do share this angle in the middle. These are vertical angles. So this is also side, angle, side similarity. For numbers 6 through 9, you're just finding the value of X. So if I pick something on, there's like 4 different ways that you could set this up realistically. The easiest way, what most people are doing, is picking something on a triangle, and then because you know they're parallel lines, you don't have to add them together necessarily. You could just use the leftover piece. So X over 20 is equal to this piece over the leftover. So if the whole thing's 46 and this is 16, this would have to be 30. So you're doing 30 over 16. Side note, you could do X over X plus 20 equals 30 over 46. You will get the same answer. Most people are doing it the easy way. So if I cross multiply, 30 times 20 is 600. 16 times X is 16X. When I divide, I get 37.5. For 7, we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna pick anything. So I'm gonna pick 9. 9 is on the same line as 4. And then I'm matching the piece. So 9 is over with 13.5 as the numerator. The rest of it is X plus 4. And then I cross multiply. So 9 times X is 9X. 9 times 4 is 36. 4 times 13.5 is 54. If I minus 36 to both sides, I get 18. Divide by 9, X is 2. For 8, same process. I'm picking something, so I'll use 10. 10 is on the same line as 3X plus 1. Then I have 22. 22 is on the same line as 7X minus 1. I'm going to cross multiply and distribute. 10 times 7 is 70X. 10 times 1 is minus 10. If I cross multiply the other way, 22 times 3x is 66x. 22 times 1 is 22. I'm going to add 10. Minus 66. When I divide, I end up getting 8. The last one is technically an angle bisector theorem. So because it's an angle bisector, you're looking at this triangle and this triangle. If I know the whole distance is 33, if I subtract 9, that makes this piece 24. So I'm using this triangle to make a fraction, and then I'm using the other triangle to make a fraction. So if I choose 12, 12 is on the side. 12 is going to match with, on the same triangle, 9. And then I'm going to do the other side. I have the side, which is 3x plus 2, and you can divide by 24. This is not the only way to set this up. As long as in your fraction you have 12 multiplying with 24, it's fine. So don't freak out if it's not exactly the same as what I'm writing, because there's a bunch of different ways to write these and get the same answers. So 9 times 3 is going to be 27. 9 times 2 is 18. I'm going to minus 18. So x is 10. If I flip to the back, this is also similar shapes. So rectangle GHIJ is similar to rectangle STUV. So when in doubt, we're going to draw it out. So I have one rectangle. I'll just put it over here. GHIJ. It does not matter how you write it, if I want to go down and around or over and around, but how I write the first one, remember these letters G and S have to match. So the second one I'll just put up here. I put G and S in the top right corner. T matches with H. So now I'm going to fill in my numbers. G to J is 5.1. J to I is 8.2. U to V is 18.04. I need to find SB, so that's where I'm putting X. So we're doing small over big, and it doesn't really matter which one's small and which one's big, it's whatever you drew. So I'm picking something on here. If I pick X, X corresponds with 5.1. 18.04 corresponds with 8.2. I'm going to cross multiply. And then I'm dividing. So when I divide, I get 11.22. Now, the next one, same thing, when in doubt, we're gonna draw it out. It says the store sells rectangular placemats. Mat A has a width of 22. So I'm gonna call this 22 over here. And a length of 12. So I'll put 12 at the bottom. Mat B has a width that is 4 inches greater than. So if I do 4 inches greater, that's gonna be 26 because I'm adding 4 to the previous amount. I need to find the length. So the length is down here. So same thing, I'm gonna match pieces. So I'm gonna do, if I choose something on A, I'm gonna do 22. 22 matches with 26 because they're both the sides. And then I have 22 matches with 12 because they're on the same shape over what I'm actually trying to find, x, because it's 4 inches greater, meaning more. So if I cross multiply 22 times x is 22x, 12 times 26 is 312. I'm dividing by 22. So I get 14.181818 repeating, so 14.2 if you want to round it to the nearest tenth. Okay, the next step you're going to need a calculator, sine, cosine, tangent. So it says determine the missing length of the right triangle, then determine the trigonomic ratio. So we need to find this part first, which is the hypotenuse. So this is my hypotenuse, that's h. I need to find h to then write the trigonomic ratios. So I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. A is going to be, I'll just call it 16 because it's a side, plus 30 because I have the other side. I'm looking for c, which is the diagonal of the hypotenuse. So if I do 14 to the power of 2, or I mean 16 to the power of 2, I'm adding 30 to the power of 2. I get 1156. So this is 900. This is 256. And then I am square rooting that. So this is actually 34. Now I'm going to write each fraction that represents it. So sine of q. So I'm at q. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So remember SOHCAHTOA. So opposite is going to be 30. Hypotenuse is h. Adjacent will be 16. So we're doing 30 over 34. If you leave it as that, that is all right, but you could technically reduce this. So if I type it in as a fraction using the ABC button and just press equals, it'll reduce it for me. So 15 over 17. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So 16 over 34. 16 ABC 34, press equals, that's 8 over 17. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. It's the only one that doesn't use hypotenuse. So this would be 30 over 16. So this is technically 1 7/8. If you don't like that, you could press shift and it'll change it to an improper fraction, which is 15 over 8. Either way, any of those are acceptable. I'm fine with that. So for the next part, we're going to use trigonometry, sine, cosine, tangent to actually solve these. So I need to find x. So I'm the 54, I have opposite, and I have adjacent. The long diagonal is hypotenuse. So O and A uses tangent. So I'm going to say tan of 54 equals x over 9. I'm going to put tangent of 51 or 54 over 1, and I'm cross multiplying. So 9 times tan of 54 equals 1 times x, which is just x. So all I got to do is multiply this. So 12.4. Same thing, this one we're 27, we're standing here. I have opposite and I have adjacent. So it just so happens that these are both tangent. That's not going to happen on your test. Tangent of 27, opposite is 13 over x. I'm going to put it over 1, and this time I'm going to cross multiply. X times tan of 27 equals 13 times 1, which is 13. Now I got to solve for x, so in this case I need to divide by tan of 27 because I got to get rid of that because I need x by itself. So 13 divided by 27 tan, press equals. Oh, don't look at that. 13 divided by 27 tan. 25.5. Okay, 15 says Elijah is looking up to the top of the Washington Monument. The monument is 555 feet tall, and the angle of elevation's going up from the point on the ground where he's over here somewhere, is 74. So this angle is going up 74 degrees. How far is he standing from the base of the monument? Base is bottom. So I'm him, I have opposite and adjacent. So once again, I'm using tangent of 74 equals 555 over x. Put it over 1, and we're gonna cross multiply. So technically this is x times tan 74 equals 1 times 555, and then I divide by tan of 74. So 555 divided by 74 tangent, press equals. So x equals 159.1. This one says determine the missing angles. So we're finding angles now, okay? So same thing, don't have opposite. This is my hypotenuse because it's opposite of my 90-degree angle. It's the longest side. This is adjacent. So I have A and I have H. That's gonna be cosine. I don't know the angle, so x equals 17 over 18. This requires you to find the inverse. So in your calculator, you're doing 17 divided by 18 first. You're getting that decimal. Make sure you press equals. And then to get the inverse, you're doing shift cosine. Same thing here. I'm x. I have opposite and adjacent. Hey, I'm filming a YouTube video and making copies. It's okay. It's gonna be a minute. I'm running down money. Yeah. I can't pause it, but it's okay. No, it's fine. No, what's up?
Just inscribe with the, I saw one of your things, and if the quadrilateral was true, then inscribed in a circle was true about its opposite angles.
Opposite angles are supplementary.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
Telling you.
Yeah.
Reminder. Thank you.
It's okay. Okay, so this is tangent. 10 over 13. So same thing, we're gonna use inverse of tan. 10 over 13. So do 10 divided by 13, press equals, shift tangent. So x is 37.6 degrees. Okay, last two. Last two are laws of sines. So there was a typo on this, and on your test there's a typo. This one is missing an 80 degrees, and this one's missing 104. I told you to add that during class, so if you didn't, there you go. So those will be there on your test. I wrote them in my own handwriting because you need angles to do laws of sines. So laws of sines, you're using sines. So I'm gonna pick any angle. I'm gonna use the 80 just cause sine of 80 is opposite of 14. So those go together. Then I'm gonna use sine of 67, opposite of x. The 8 is there to throw you off. You're not using it at all. So we're gonna cross multiply x times sine of 80. And then over here I'm cross multiplying 14 times sine of 67. So these ones I actually multiply. This one I can't multiply because I have x. So we're doing 14 times 67 sine, press equals. Now that's what that represents. I need to get x by itself. So I have one more step. I'm gonna divide by sine of 80. Press equals. Over here, I pick any angle to start with. If I start with 12 or 21, that's fine. So I'm gonna say sine of 21 over the opposite side. So that's x equals sine of the angle, which is 104. That's opposite of 34. And then I'm gonna cross multiply. I can multiply these together because they're numbers. So 34 times 21 sine, press equals. And then I'm gonna divide by sine of 104. Okay, and then, I'm sorry, the first two questions got cut off. So if you need 1 and 2, I was fixing the copier, so I shut my phone off. So go to the other video. I'll post 2 separate videos. Questions 1 and 2, and then 3 through the rest.